What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rasan, 1/4 of We Ain't Them. And before we get started today, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now, first things first, I just wanted to let you guys know that we will be dropping merch soon. As you can see, I'm currently wearing the hoodie. This has been in the works for a couple of weeks now, but we will have a release date soon. So definitely be on the lookout for the website, which will have the merch on it. And there's a lot of things that we need to talk about this week. This week has been crazy, and even while trying to make this video, more things keep happening. So let's just jump right into it with everybody's favorite anti-Semitic Kanye. Now, Kanye released an album called Vultures 1 with Ty Dolla $ign, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it should have been called The One That Should Have Been Left in the Trash, because that shit was hot garbage, nothing but samples. And of course, that's a Kanye thing, but this time it was pretty awful. Now, I didn't get to really talk about the situation with Kanye in regards to the anti-Semitic comments that he made, but I'm gonna be honest, that nigga should have been done with for a long time ago. And it really started with when he said the fucking shit in regards to slavery was a choice. Like, black people, I love us, but at the same time, I can't stand us because we allowed this man to disparage us, to disrespect us, and we still bought Yeezys, we still bought his albums, and that nigga was still okay to do whatever the fuck he wanted to. Why? Why did we think that shit was okay? But the minute he said something about Jewish people, oh, now all of a sudden it's this big fucking uproar. It's a hoorah. Now, I get it, some companies apparently are owned by Jewish people, but I'm not too sure about that per se. But I don't understand why the fuck it took this to happen for that nigga to start losing everything. You know what Kanye is to me? Kanye is like this little fucking kid who pokes and pokes and pokes and chooks and pokes to see how fucking far he could go, and he chooked too far, and now he's pretty much losing a lot of things. He's not losing everything, but he's losing a lot, and you could see it in that man's face, you could see it in that man's mannerism. He's just losing it all. But I mean, you may want what you get, Kanye, but you may not get what you want. So, you know, to each his own at the end of the day. Now, since we're talking about bad decision making, let's just talk about those people who like to defend the people who make bad decisions, or as I like to call it, the defenders of the unlawful. Now, this all stems from when Floyd Mayweather went on the Pivot podcast and said this.
It's crazy just out here in the world today. A lot of times, even like P. Diddy. I'm not going to speak bad about P. Diddy because he's still a black man. Mistakes happen, and I can't say if it is or it's not a mistake, but things happen in life. And P. Diddy business is P. Diddy business. It's not my job or anyone else's job to go on the internet and stump him and kick a man while he's down. My take on it is, it's not my business.
And you know the funniest part about this whole thing is that nobody even mentioned Diddy. Why the fuck did you bring up Diddy, Floyd? Why was the need for you to bring up Diddy? Niggas was asking you about your relationship with NBA Youngboy. Where the hell did Diddy get involved? Like, it felt like you had to say something because that shit was on your conscience or something. Like, my nigga, why? Why did you need to do that? It didn't make any sense to me. It's really sad. Like, you really had to butt in shit that had nothing to fucking do with you. And then you had to butt in about Cassie. Like, nobody asked you to butt in. And you always talking about taking some money. Nigga, we know you gonna take blood money at the end of the day. We see it every time that you can. Nigga, your nickname is money. All you do is worry about money. Apparently, that whole podcast, niggas was asking you questions and all you did was talk about money. This is the type of nigga you are, Floyd. So I don't even know why you decided to interject in business that got nothing to do with you. Another example of people that just like to defend terrible people is John Cena. Now, John Cena was on the Howard Stern podcast and had to say this about Vince McMahon.
But there's been accusations that are disturbing. So I go, can I be personal friends with this person? And some people I can, because there's lines in my mind where things are drawn. But some people I can't, because it's too big a mountain to climb. In other words, if any of this is true, I can't know you. You know, I loved you. I love what you did for me. I love our friendship. But now that I know this about you, there's no turning back.
I don't think it's complicated to talk about. I think it's complicated to listen to. And that's kind of why I don't necessarily put a lot of time and equity into it.
Yeah.
Again, I think there's still a long ways to go.
Yeah.
I can say this. I'm a big advocate of love and friendship and honesty and communication. But in the same breath, I'm also a big advocate of accountability. I think you explained it well of if someone's behavior lies so far outside your value system that the balance shifts of like, man, I can't operate in a world where this works.
Yeah.
That's the end result of being accountable. But there's
What are you
also
going to do though?
So right now what I'm going to do is love the person I love,
Right.
be their friend. And by that, it means like, hey, I love you. You got a hill to climb. And, there's the saying of like, hey, you don't know who you are or you don't know who your friends are until the shit hits the fan or your back's against the wall. That doesn't make any of what's going on any easier to swallow.
Right.
But just telling somebody that like, hey, I love you. Man, this is going to be a hill to climb. We're going to see what happens. And that's that. I think it sounds so cliche, but it has to be one day at a time. But at the same token, I've openly said is I love the guy. I got a great relationship with the guy. So that's that.
Yo, John, I'd give it to you. You is one loyal motherfucker, bro. Like, you really, really are. Now, I don't know, are you loyal to him because you love him, so to speak? Or are you loyal to him because he made you a lot of money? Because that's how I feel about it. I feel like you're only loyal because that nigga made you a lot of money. And even if, like, that shit is still disgusting. Like, you know who else was making business together and making money together? Seth Rogen and James Franco. You know what happened there? Seth Rogen saw everything that was happening and took 2 steps back and said, nah, I don't want to be involved with this. I do not believe in sexual abuse or sexual harassment whatsoever. He took 3 steps back and is like, nah, I'm good there. John, at the end of the day, bro, you're a grown-ass man and you're going to defend who you want to. But I think at the end of the day, you have this thing where you have to dick ride Vince McMahon for some reason. And you won't say what's wrong with him. And you have to take a step back and just say, no comment. I'm just not going to comment on it whatsoever. That would have been better than your whole fucking, oh yeah, well, you love somebody and shut your bitch ass up. Sounds stupid, bro. You really do. And it's a shame because people look up to you. But at the end of the day, Kendrick Lamar said it best, niggas is not your savior. Now, as I wake up to make this video, I get some crazy news that Porsha Williams is divorcing her now going to be ex-husband Simon. Now, if you guys didn't know this week that Simon got caught because that nigga was a big ass scammer. I mean, I've heard this shit one too many times. I'm not gonna say why necessarily he's a scammer, but you could fit the mold if you want to. Now, poor Porsha, she thought she was living happily ever after. And she thought that she caught the catch of the year with this fat seal looking motherfucker, but it didn't work out for her, did it? It just really did not work out for her. And I feel bad because she's going through this big stress on reality TV at home. She's went through a lot of shit. So I don't like to see shit happen to people, especially to people who want better for themselves. So I really feel bad for Porsha because it must be a stressful time, especially that she was recording The Real Housewives and all this shit just comes crumbling down. So, I hope that you find peace, Porsha. I know it's going to be a tough road ahead for you because it feels like, all these things keep happening to you. And it's not right because it's just not fair at all. It's not fair to you and it's not fair to your kids. Now, also, the craziest thing that happened is I get this post from Twitter. Somebody sent it to me and it was about Omale. Now, if you guys don't know who Omale is a Afrobeats artist. And he did a concert in London where he was serenading to this woman, and the woman decides to come on stage. Everything's cool, right? But the catch is that the woman came with her boyfriend. Check this clip out.
Miss Overload, you know, and then the voice is on it.
She literally asked the girls, wasn't that bad? It was that bad, girl, like, bro. You were holding the nigga's dick. Hey.
The way that I put your phone
Now, I only have one issue. Well, I have a few, but one main issue that I have is that why the fuck are you guys recording that man's reaction? That's not fair. That man is going through it, and you could see it in his face that he's going through it. Y'all are fucking savages. Y'all shouldn't be recording that shit. That's just not nice. It's not fair to a person that y'all especially don't even fucking know. Like, it's not fair. It wasn't cool. That was humiliating, and that man, I know, must feel embarrassed because he is the laughingstock on Twitter, and which is not fair because he didn't ask for that. Now, I am going to say this, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't blame Omale for that because Omale didn't do anything. Omale is just a performer, so he's just doing the performing. That's pretty much it. Now, who do I blame? It's the woman, bro. It really is. Like, you gotta kind of have sense of don't do certain shit. Like, know your boundaries. Like, you can go on stage, you can have your fun, and then get the fuck off the stage and go back to your goddamn man. Now, I can't confirm because I'm not in the situation, but everybody's saying, oh, that's her man and all this stuff. Like, I can't confirm nor deny because I don't really know the ins and outs of everything because that's not my business. But it is really sad when you think about it. And, you know, this is in this common thing about serenading. I mean, technically, it wouldn't be a serenade in this case, but the Usher and Alicia Keys performance where everybody was just like, yo, Swiss, why you got your wife like on Usher like that? Like, who the fuck, why would you allow that shit? And y'all niggas be fucking ODing. Now, do I think that Usher has this thing where he likes to get real close to people's partners? Yeah, I definitely think so. And that nigga needs to kind of know a boundary, but that's a part of his performance. Now, at the end of the day, I always think like everybody always thinks about the woman's spouse, but what about his wife? Like, Usher, didn't you just get married in Vegas? Like, my nigga, doesn't your wife think this is kind of a little bit too close for comfort? Like, I really wonder about that. Like, it can't be just, oh, the woman's side. We also got to check like his side too. So I always find it interesting. And then after that, I saw a post that said, well, if Jada Kingdom or Shenseea came up to you, what would you do? I was like, I would get on that stage, whine on the bump seat, and then leave and then go back to my woman, because I don't need no kind of stress in my goddamn life. I mean, luckily I have a partner who is not going to get on me for whining on a woman. She would probably get on me if I did something else, which I definitely would not take it too far. I think that I just have boundaries, and I think people need to have those boundaries, especially when you're in a relationship or in a marriage or whatever your union may be. I think that you just have to know your limits. Now, I'll tell you straight up. Now, if it's Scissor, I'm just saying that me and her already had an agreement that we both go together. It ain't just her and it ain't just me. We go as one. So, ain't no ifs, ands, buts about that. But, that's another case. So let's wrap up today's video where we talk about the man of the hour, which is Shannon Sharpe. Now, Shannon Sharpe has been getting dragged, ragtagged, fucking poked at, like, for the worst kind of shits possible for him doing his job, honestly. He didn't do anything wrong. So between the interviews with Cat Williams and the interviews with Monique, he also did an interview with Dusty Banks, which I'll get back to. But between those particular two interviews, people have been going back and forth. People have been going off, and people have been big mad. I don't know what the fuck you big mad for. Cat Williams and Monique decided to go on a goddamn show. So it was up to them. So they could have said no and not go on, but they decided to. And on top of that, Shannon wasn't out here being like super messy as you motherfuckers keep calling him. You guys called him gay. You guys called him a female Wendy Williams. And I don't think any of those things are true based on the fact of, if any of us was in that position to interview Cat Williams or to interview Monique, we wouldn't do it. Like, niggas need to stop being so goddamn delulu all the goddamn time. Like, you guys have to realize, like, if I had that opportunity, or anybody on the podcast had this opportunity, we're jumping on this right away, because it's a great chance for one, views, and one, to get some clarity on some things that maybe was said. Now, how far it went, it kind of went left, and the after effects were crazy. But let's just look at those after effects. One, Cat Williams decided to go on tour. Now, he probably was going on tour prior to the Shannon Sharpe thing, but it just helped. It just helped enhance everything. Number two, after Monique went on, now all of a sudden, Cat Williams asked Monique to go on the tour with him. Not only Monique, but also Tori Hart, which is Kevin Hart's ex-wife. So it's a very interesting time that happened. Now, to follow up with that, Nicki Minaj then goes around and asks Cat Williams to be on her tour. Like, why the fuck does Cat Williams need to join your tour, Nicki? That doesn't make much sense in any sense of the world. You just one messy motherfucker. Like, you just like the mess. That's all it is. Now, the biggest thing that happened was that Monique's son decided to pretty much make a video in regards to Monique and their relationship and everything, which I thought was really sad. But what's even more sad is Monique's response, the son's response to Monique's response, because let's call it for what it is. It wasn't just Monique's response. It was Monique and her daddy, her daddy husband, or her husband daddy. I don't know which one the fuck it is. But yeah, pretty much they went and they spoke about it as well, which at the end of the day, I feel like he didn't need to fucking interject his business. I get it, he has a history of doing that, but this is one of those times where you need to mind your fucking business and just let Monique just talk to her son. And it got worse because Monique decided to go do a live show, and during the live show she was like, fuck that nigga, and talking about her son. And I don't think that's cool at all. I think that, I'm not one to fucking call the kettle black, because I have done some shit in regards to family and I put it on social media, which I feel like it didn't make anything better. It probably makes shit worse. And, as a man, I can kind of admit that I was wrong. But at the end of the day, a lot of emotions are mixed, and you're in that mode where you're just like, I'm mad, so I just want to release my fucking frustrations. Honestly, I think that this should be a simple conversation on the phone, and not with daddy involved. No, Monique and her son. That's the only two people that should be on the phone having this conversation. It shouldn't be daddy involved and daddy should tell me what I should say. Like, bitch, you are a grown ass woman. You talk this big shit. Like, if you're gonna talk that big shit, you gotta kind of back it up. Because I feel like those conversations, once they happen over the phone, they could mend a lot of things. They could clear the air about a lot of things that there might be a lot of confusion about. And I think it's very important on both sides because you could get the clarity, hopefully, that you guys need. Now I want to jump into Desi Banks because he's the most recent comedian to come on Club Shay Shay, and he had this to say in regards to his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, that's when I was first, in my beginning stages of, really chasing my dream of comedy. At the time, I felt like she didn't believe in my dream and my goals. I used to want her to support me so much. I thought there was gonna be a woman that I was gonna be with. You know what I'm saying? I did a lot of stuff with her. You know what I'm saying? Every dime that I got, where I was working, I gave to her. The only thing I wanted to do was get me a haircut and pay my cell phone bill so I could, shoot my video.
Right.
But I felt like at the time, the money, it wasn't coming fast enough.
Right.
It wasn't there. So she went to, you need to get a job, you need to do this, you need to do that. Well, I can't do this no more, so you might have to, go do something else. So it sent me to my grandmama's house. You know what I'm saying? So I was staying with my grandma for a little minute.
Now, speaking as a black man who makes content, it is not easy. It really isn't. Content creation is not an easy task. I'll give you guys a really good example. This video was actually supposed to be recorded like 12 hours ago, and when you guys see it, this would have been a couple hours later. I made the video fully, and all of a sudden when I look, oh, my storage is full. So I made this video and it took like 20-30 minutes or so, or even, I don't know how long it took, probably even 40. Now it sucks because it's just like mad frustrating because you're like, oh, now I gotta do this all over again. It's a lot of stuff, but when you want to do something, you put your full effort into it. No matter how many mistakes happen, no matter how many fuck ups happen, you still put a lot of effort into it. Now, in regards to Desi in general, my nigga, you wrong. Like, you're dead wrong. You can't be mad at a woman who left you because you wasn't paying the bills. This wasn't really about your content creation. It was just about you handling your business. Like, you wasn't handling business and you needed to. Like, bills are priority at the end of the day. And if bills aren't prioritized, then it's a problem. Like, in any relationship, that's how it is. Like, I understand love is there and commitment is there and you're gonna ride for your partner and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, I can't be mad at a person who says I'm not in it and I don't want to be a part of this because we still have bills to pay. Me, in the back of my mind, I believe that everybody is just like, you have to fully commit 100% and you got to do everything that you can. And I get that. I definitely do. But when bills are involved, you don't get that opportunity. I understand if you're living with your mama and she pays the bills and you start young, and I will say starting young is a admirable thing, because if you start young and you don't have too much responsibilities, a lot of things are a lot easier for you. But when you're a grown-ass man, you don't get that chance. You have to cover your ass. You have to work and still do content creation in hopes that your content creation becomes your 9 to 5. And that would be a blessing at the end of the day. But it's not easy. It's not a road that, it comes right away. It takes months upon years upon years upon years. Like, it's not something that you get one video and it goes viral and then boom, it happens. It doesn't happen that way all the time. It happens to some, but it doesn't happen to all. So Desi, I don't think she was wrong for doing what she had to do. She had to make a decision. She had to do what's best for her. And, in hindsight, it worked out for both of y'all. So I'm not mad at her. And, credit to you. You made it as far as you have. So, no harm, no foul. With that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Again, we will be releasing merch soon, so definitely be on the lookout for that. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and watch our other videos, especially the most recent video where Ab gives an in-depth look at Monique's interview about Club Shay Shay. It's around here somewhere. I'm not sure. It's somewhere around here. Go watch the video. Go watch the video. With that being said, I am Rasan, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.